I've heard this too often, and I've had this feeling many times myself. I still do sometimes. It's the feeling of not being good enough. Especially we, men, are rather considered human doings than human beings. And when we decide to leave the plantation, we get shamed for being omega males, men who live in our mother's basement. A way to cope with these messages is changing our way of thinking. In this video, I would like to tell a short story that might help you with that. For years I've been studying different philosophies, including an Eastern philosophy called Taoism. The most important scripture of Taoism is the Tao Te Ching. Some of you might know it, some of you might have read it. It's a beautiful piece of work and a source of great wisdom. But there's another book. This book is called the Zhuangzi, and the Zhuangzi contains a story about a sage named Zhuangzi, who realized something important after watching a lumberjack cutting down trees for wood. The lumberjack was always looking for the straight trees to cut down, because those trees are the most useful. Because of their straightness, those trees could be used and still are used for wooden planks. The ugly and crooked trees, however, were not considered useful in the eyes of the lumberjack. "What an ugly tree," the lumberjack said. "Look at it, it's all crooked. I bet you cannot make a single bookshelf of that worthless tree." "But friend," Zhuangzi said, "I think it's a beautiful tree. It's beautiful because it's crooked. Maybe it will not give you the wood you want, but I think the space around and beneath the tree is a great place to relax, and those crooked roots sticking out of the ground can be used as chairs." "Whatever you say," said the lumberjack, who continued cutting down the straight trees. So because of the uselessness in the eyes of the lumberjack, the crooked tree was saved. The straight trees, however, all perished to his axe. And the story gets even better. The crooked tree, because of its uniqueness, was cherished by people, and years later it was declared sacred. So if you are getting shamed again, please remember the story of Zhuangzi and the crooked tree. Blue pill men might consider themselves the straight trees of society, but they are the ones who get cut up to pieces. They are the first ones to perish. Being seen as useless by women is a blessing, gentlemen. It's a way to be preserved. What I love so much about Taoism is that this philosophy constantly reminds us that every negative side has a positive side as well.